So tools are something that everyone is going to need, whether you're an experienced gardener or a new gardener. There are some essential tools that we're going to need in order to clean up the landscape or work in the vegetable garden. So when we're talking about these essential tools, there are certain ones that we're going to need. They're kind of like the starters in the starter kit. The first one we're going to need is going to be the leaf rake. Now the thing to keep in mind with the leaf rake is we need to make sure that it's got good bounce in the head, that we're able to clean out the teeth very quickly, so that way leaves and things don't get stuck in it. And then compare that to the garden rake. So the garden rake has very hard tines. This works well if you're moving soil around, if you're going to move some rocks or gravel, while the leaf rake is good for moving mulch or moving leaves. Those are two really big essentials. Then another one is going to be a shovel. Now it really depends on what kind of shovel that we're looking at, but a pretty common one is going to be the digging shovel. It's going to have a pointed end to it, so that way we can go ahead, we can dig in the soil, we can make those holes, we can do different things along those lines. Now, if we get a little bit more specialized in our shovels, we're going to have the spade. Now, this one will dig deeper and it'll make really nice, clean lines. So if we're going to be edging or if we're going to be doing a bigger hole or a deeper hole, then we're going to need to invest in one of these kinds of shovels. And if we're doing a lot of scooping, you've got the scoop shovel. So that's one if you're moving mulch or if you're going to be moving a lot of rock or things like that. It can hold a heavier amount. It's not good for digging in the soil. So like I said, when it comes to any of these garden tools, it really depends on the job that you're having them do. Now, when we're talking a little bit more specialized, we have that potato fork. This is really good if we're turning compost. This one works really well for digging in the garden and, like the name implies, digging up potatoes. So really solid construction, really bulky tines are really good for digging in the soil. But if we're moving mulch, my mulch fork is the way to go. You can also do a cob fork, but this one's more lightweight. So if you're moving a lot of mulch, you're not getting as fatigued or as tired if you're moving a heavy pitchfork around. So the thing to keep in mind is a lot of these tools, it really depends on what job you're having these tools do. The main thing is to invest in some good tools. If we invest in some cheaper, lower quality tools, you're going to have to replace them down the line. So making sure we make some good investments in our hand tools are going to be key. Now we also have some specialized tools. So we talked about some of the larger tools that we're going to need in the garden and in the landscape, but we're also going to have a variety of smaller tools that are going to be able to perform a wide range of jobs. So some of the smaller tools that we're going to want are going to be a soil knife. Now these soil knives are great because you can do lots of different things with them. We will have a serrated side and then there's going to be a straight side. This one also contains a ruler on it so you can dig to a specific depth. They work out really well for taking out dandelions. I suggest if you're going to invest, you invest in a sheath that you can put it in, because nothing worse than trying to put that soil knife into your back pocket. Now moving on, we will go to another digger equipment. This is one if you're going to be doing some weeding really close proximity to you. It's kind of similar to a scuffle hole, only it's for your hand. And it works if you're left-handed or you're right-handed. It takes weeds out really well. The next one is we're going to need to invest in some quality pruning equipment. So when we're talking quality pruning equipment, we're talking about those pruners that are going to prune up to 1.5 inches. We can go up to our loppers as well. The thing to keep in mind is I really like bypass shears because when they cut, they make a very clean cut. They don't crush the stem. Anytime we have branches that are going to be larger, then we're going to want to invest in a good quality pruning saw. Not a wood saw from the hardware store, a pruning saw. It's going to make a clean cut on those larger branches, and we're going to help to seal over and heal over that wound much quicker. Now, some other ones that we have to keep in mind, especially if we're dealing with the summertime, is we're looking at sunscreen and making sure we stay well hydrated with water. So these are two essentials that we need, especially in the heat of the summer. So we have a wide range of tools for the garden. So we can have the larger tools like the rakes and shovels, or we can have a variety of smaller hand tools that are going to be needed for the garden. Again, whatever task we're going to be doing, we're going to focus on those specialized tools for that task.